It is cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, with that in mind, you mentioned that you wanted that's everything I wanted to go over. The only reason I wanted to go over that stuff is to just make sure that we have like we have like a more make sure that we're on the same page when it comes to definitions and such.
Okay.
And then from here, I see you've provided many sets versus bagels. Where would you like to start?
Um, um, so I beat the Falco. I beat Bagel's Falco. I don't want to start there. I
Mm-hmm.
lost to Magellan, but then I reversed 3-0'd them in a. I didn't. No, I lost 3-0 to Magellan, and then I beat them in Redemption 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
But Magellan's Falco still gave me trouble. And based on other people's comments, there's weird fundamental things with Falco I don't understand. Um, I've grinded Kirby Falco since then, but there's still going to be things I don't understand. So I kind of prefer that one or Parched because Parched is also Parched knows I played Parched. I want to start with Parched because I've played him so much, and yeah,
Okay.
he's yeah.
I think this is one of the more recent ones anyway,
Parched
so I think
kind
that
of has
makes a
upper
ton
hand
of
set.
sense. Like if I was looking, yeah, 2 months ago, so like whereas some of these are from like are from early, a lot earlier in the year. So I think that makes perfect sense. Let's begin. Is there anything in particular you want me to be looking for before we jump into this? I know that you said neutral is like a big focus of this, but is there anything else that has been added or shift around in the priorities?
Um, I I'm not sure. I don't think so. I mean, since then I've learned more things with Punish and a little bit of spacing. So it's going to be excruciating to watch, but still helpful. Um,
Okay, so like, what's something you've learned with spacing?
so for example, so obviously you don't want to be typically you don't want to be beneath Falco.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, well, I'll just let him shield me or power shield or something. Or just get out of the way at the last second. So there's like a spacing underneath side plat on Yoshi's, and if Falco is standing on the top plat, he has enough like speed when he's falling to kind of mix you up or to sort of bait me into a shield and do like this weird empty drop, double jump, and then dare me afterwards or something like that. And so that's something I've learned not to do since, but it's still a habit, and I think it happens here. I also think I think this was like a close set. But parts I don't know. There's still things I need to like understand about this, I think.
Okay,
Um
so
yeah.
I have a question. So talk me through the decision process. I'm going to slow this down a little bit because I think this is an interesting one. So talk me through the decision process here to like shield in this spot because to me you had like a pretty good opening here with like so to me you had a very good opening here with just shield drop back here. Do you see what I mean? So
Yes.
like what's the and I feel like especially with Falco like being in the like close to the edge after like this makes it like shield drop bear makes a ton of sense here. So what's the deal with staying on the platform? Like what are we looking for here?
Um I think so on a tech level my shield drops need a lot of work. What I'm thinking is I think I just feel comfortable in this position. Like I feel like Falco can't do much to me here, and so maybe it's just like a habit. And then I kind of put out the bear, I guess, anticipating it. So maybe I'm like leaning into that habit.
Okay. And what about here? Because this is another one. You get pushed, like you're shielding at the edge of the platform. So I'm thinking like you're got to be aware that you're gonna like get pushed off the platform, like especially after these up tilts like move you here. So then
Right.
I'm
This should be
thinking,
a bear.
okay, cool. So we agree that there is like an opportunity. So like,
Yeah.
what walk me through what happens after this like after back air here? Because I don't think it's necessarily wrong to be more stubborn about being on this platform, but I want to like understand what your thought process is here. Like what do you do after this back air? Let's say you actually take the falling back air here. Like you fast fall here, you back air, and what's the follow up?
If I got the back air, um, right, if my tech skill is good, I'm gonna go for a shuffle bear into an up tilt, and then ideally a second up tilt. It depends if I think Falco might actually clip to the plat at that percent.
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't, I'm gonna just keep doing up tilts, maybe a bear. If he goes to the plat, it's an RTC setup, and so then either I might, if I'm impatient, I'll go for a bear. If I'm cautious, I'll slow down, maybe do like an empty hop or try to bait them to do an option, and then go for a bear or an up air. I have a bad, I don't know if it's a bad habit, but I do have a habit of doing ASB in that interaction when this is like in this, if he was to land on the plat and whatever, but Baron, up air, or baiting would have been better. Um, let's say he like, if he was like holding like C stick down and analog stick down and I bared him, and I went for the up tilt, he might actually reverse me. But that's okay. I would have taken the percent. And I don't think he plays that way. Maybe another Falco would.
I don't think that. I don't think that. Like, I think if we see him hold down and he doesn't get popped up during the L cancel, I think that we just don't go for the up tilt. I think we just like short up and bear and continue harassing him. So I'm not too worried about that particular outcome. The one thing I'm thinking here is, so like I've pulled up the mighty and powerful calculator, and let's just turn combo snapping on. Snap to surfaces, sure. So you said that you're thinking up tilt then, right?
Yeah, if I did the bear into the up tilt, so I don't know how much percent he gets after the first bear. But the up tilt might, if I after the bear and then the up tilt, I think it might knock him up to the plat.
It's not quite. Assuming no DI, it's not quite there, but like we definitely can get him there. You know, like it pushes him, like it pushes, like if assuming he DIs in on the bear, because I think he needs to in order for us to like get this to combo, just based on how the frames look. I think that we're hitting him basically like around here with the up tilt. And then it gets close. I don't know if it quite gets him, but like it's close for sure to getting him there. I think if you can get a second up tilt, if you get a second up tilt, like for sure. Like at that point, absolutely. So I think that there's a lot of merit to bear up tilt here. One thing I wanted to like ask you about is, what do you think about bear turnaround grab? Do you think that's ever a play?
I've never thought about it. It probably is, but I've just never thought about it.
I'm thinking like with him being close to the edge, like with him being here, like the way I'm viewing that this situation, and the reason I bring this up as a possibility, is we kind of have the opportunity to put him on the platform here, right?
Yeah.
So like
the up throw would, yeah.
Yeah, the up throw traps him here, and I feel like getting Falco onto this side platform in a somewhat efficient manner is like got to be like something we're interested in. Because I thought that's why you were staying on the platform, because Kirby can RTC Falco with down throw and do like tons of damage once he's got it here.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of why
he crossed me up. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I was wondering if you were staying on this side platform here, because like I'm kind of like, okay, so are we like looking for just like the death combo? Because like that is a viable line of play. That's a viable reason to like not take the shield drop back air. And if that's the case, then like that makes perfect sense. But it's just like it sounds like it might be that, but it also might just be like I feel safe here.
It's so it is if I'm on a side plat like one of these and I'm lingering, yeah. So this is also weird. So this down throw, so Parch and I have played a lot. So this is such a weird interaction. Parch and I have played a lot before, a lot of friendlies and in bracket before. He texts the down throw. My wave dash in is anticipating him moving in to do something else. He doesn't even go for a shine, right? It would, if I was being conscious, I could have jabbed, reacted better. I could have jabbed on a reset or something, could have down smashed. That may have also popped him up to the plat, and it has like a weird active hitbox, so it catches on a spot dodge as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that, yeah, if I'm ever like hanging out on plat against and I'm facing a spacey, I may be trying to bait them to come to the plat, so I can do the RTC. But if I recall, I think Parched, his dare crossed me or did something weird, so I couldn't quite grab him, and then I jumped, sort of as like the spacing is weird, and I need to like deal with that. So like that was just the tech flub.
Yeah, so I'm just curious about that back here now. So let's see here, because I think that like one of the things about low tiers is that like we have to be mindful of where we actually get our like big damage from.
Yes, here I am, right? Okay, and I think maybe I wanted him to land on plat, and he didn't. And then now, right, he's behind me, so I can't get the grab as easy.
Why not?
That's I think if in the time it takes me to turn around and grab, I feel like he'll shine me. He'll drop his shield and shine, or he could maybe shield drop one of these up tilts, but I don't think I don't remember if he does.
Yeah, he could shield drop these up tilts, but it looks like he's so the reason I would consider like turnaround grabbing after this up tilt is because I feel like it's pretty common for the Falco to like wait I feel like the up tilt is such a ubiquitous play by the Kirby here, that the Falco, like, you have access to your two scariest moves, the ones that he wants to shield in this position. So it isn't a guaranteed grab, but like you have your back air here, right? Because you could easily like one thing I would consider is shield dropping into back air after this, because like you see that his legs are exposed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like one thing that I would consider here, like if we have after the up tilt one, so like up tilt one.
You said you're recording this, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So you don't have to take tons of notes. Like this recording has already been started. So like one option here would be like shield drop. Let's start with this simple option. Up tilt again. Up tilt again is the fastest thing. The fastest thing you can do, and it is ultimately what you wind up doing. So like it is easy. It is consistent. It is technically unsafe, but like so is anything after this up tilt at point blank. So whatever. I think that up tilt 2 makes some amount of sense if you're still testing them. The other thing that I would say is turn grab. Because, like, again, the opponent knows that we might want to up tilt 2, so turn grab offers a way to punish them for holding block here. And then option C I would consider is buffer shield drop back air to, like, punish his legs. And it also contests him on his shield drop because we're moving away from him in a good spot relative to his body. So I would say that like these are all things that we might want to consider and as additional options. What do you think? Like of these, do any of them not make sense, or do they all like basic? Like which of these like appeals to you? I guess in terms of like, yeah, like what are your thoughts upon seeing this set of things?
So the second up tilt is a bad habit of mine, and it is something I've been getting punished more in. So I use it as, okay, they'll probably do something to punish the second up tilt. So I usually either space a bear or I try to jump and go for a dare or something, depending on the matchup and whatever. Because it's plat, I probably wouldn't do the dare or unless I'm feeling daring. But otherwise, I want to get out of there. Nowadays, I want to get out of there get out of there with a bear. So option C seems like the safest. In terms of, okay, I could maybe poke, but also put pressure and leave. If I'm keeping track of option selects, then maybe the next time this comes up, I might go for the up tilt, like the option A. But I think C is, like, again, the safest. B, I think I'm learning to become comfortable with overshoots, because B is totally an option, but it is not... It's not. In my mind, it's like I have to go through the frames to turn around, and then I have to go through the grab animation.
Which is 1 and which is 8, or sorry, which is 7. So like we have a total of 8 here, which is admittedly less than buffer shield drop bear, which is 7, because it's 1 for the shield drop and then 6 for the bear. So like what I'm like, and then for up tilt 2, it's up tilt's what, active on 4, so it's our fastest option.
I think it's on 5. I'm not sure. 4 or 5.
Okay, cool. We'll say 5. We'll say that you're right. So we're talking about a 3 and 2 frame difference. So I'm not sure, like, we're talking about a 1 frame difference for this and a 3 frame difference for this. So I think that this is worth considering, right? Because we also have the expectation working in our favor. Because if they're waiting for this second up tilt, then like that makes a lot. Then this grab should work if we call out that they are doing that. The other thing I would ask you is, what do you think the expected value of each of these hits are if we get them?
Yeah, so like, and it's not being shielded, say in the case of A.
Yeah, like let's say we hit all of these. All of these go according to plan. What is the expected value of each of these?
Okay. Yeah, so...
Because, like, this one, like, I feel is, like, a small combo. Because, like, he probably dies this way, because he doesn't want to stay on the platform and die. So, like, this is probably, like, what? Like, 30 damage, 40 damage, something like that?
Yeah, maybe another up tilt, maybe into fair, bear, or something.
I will give this one 35 because I'm feeling generous. What about buffer shield drop bear? He's not really at knockdown percent, so what? That's, like, 16 damage? Or, like, whatever bear does, like, the 14?
Yeah, it's not going to get me much. I mean, it keeps them on plat, but maybe I go for another bear if they didn't react well, but okay.
And
The
now,
grab.
how much does it? How much? When does Falco have the ability to DI off from like the middle of the platform and get off of this from the RTC? Like what? Like 80?
Yeah, it's pretty high. Yeah.
So like 61 here, because he's already at
Yeah.
19.
Yeah, so the grab is the yeah, that's why I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, okay.
So you see what I'm getting at? Like, it's not. I'm not disagreeing with like with our levels of safety here. Like, I'm not. But I feel like this is a very important thing to like represent because it is the only one that like kills him.
Right.
It's the only thing that puts us like significantly far ahead.
Yeah.
And I think if we're not willing to like go for that option, then that's a problem. Like this is also why I'm like kind of like asking about up throw here because like I don't know if we have enough time to like react after the up throw to like hit him up here. Like out of the tech, but what I do know is that like this is like us being on the ground below Falco in this kind of spot is an opportunity for us to up air.
Right.
And that is like our strongest move. So it's one of the like what I'm interested in is like how do we like convert these into bigger payoffs, and like you fighting on that side platform kind of fits the bill. This is why like I'm not sure I'd even necessarily like what is the plan here? Like if you wave dash forward, what's the plan here on the tech away?
Um so okay, so I think I was expecting him to just choose a different option. And I was trying to play this weird mix-up that I don't think I should have been.
Okay.
I would have gone for a bear or a down smash or a turnaround grab. Um, he knows about the down throw RTC, and I think I am not fast enough where I'm at right now. I haven't grinded this interaction or even just looked at people's DI habits very well when I do the down throw. So I was probably going to go for a down smash or a turnaround grab or something, maybe an up tilt. Um,
Makes sense. So I one thing I want to like kind of talk about here is coverage strategies, because like if you stay in this spot, right? Like if you stand here instead of going for the way I view it is that like there's kind of like three lines of play here. There's standing here, which covers like him teching in place, because we can like him teching in place and no teching here, because we can just up tilt either of those, and then we get something really good off of it, right?
okay.
And then if he goes this way, because it's slower, we can probably just like back air him this way or grab him or like forward tilt him. Like that's a pretty easy like ask for us, I think. Like if we're standing here, we're kind of covering like this here. Let me just make a diagram. So like this is Yoshi. We're going to need to include more of the image. That's okay. So there's kind of, upon seeing his DI here, this is like one outcome. This is like the in-place options. This is the tech roll towards us, and then this is the tech roll away from us.
Right.
Do you see how there's like three spots?
Yes.
Perfect. So what I'm saying here is, because of where we're positioned on the stage relative to him, by just being where we are, we're covering these three. Like we're covering these two options, which includes no tech and tech in place. And then TRF, and then TRA, because tech roll away. So you can see how like these are kind of the different options available to both players at this time. So what I'm saying here is, by just being where we are covering if we like categorize these two as different, we are covering 3 out of 4 options by just being where we are right now. So I need a very good reason to go over here if I'm going to go over here. Because like this is a very difficult tech chase, and if you're saying that you're not confident in it, then like we're sacrificing all of these options to go over here. So I need this. Like, what is a payoff move that like would be worth it to like go over here?
I mean, if they went over there, right,
Yeah.
I could either go for the grab, but then we restart the whole thing again. Maybe an up throw, but I probably would have done a down throw. Wave dash, a really crazy
Greedier.
wave dash into an F tilt.
Okay.
Or maybe a weird fair, right, to sort of launch them off the stage.
Yeah, like,
Those would maybe, I don't
well,
know.
remember, there's still more stage, because we don't have the full stage on display. The actual stage probably, like, extends, like, somewhere, like, from here, it probably goes, like, all the way here, and then it has the slant as well. So, like, it goes significantly further than we have space for, because of, like, the limitations of the camera here. right? Because it probably goes
Yes.
like, yeah, like it's like this. The stage probably ends like slightly off screen relative to where we are. Like it probably ends like about here.
Yeah.
Like probably
Yeah.
starts to slope here, like around here, kind of. Based on that one. So like I want us to be clear about that because I don't want us like for me, the idea that we're going to put Falco off stage because he lands here is, like, not realistic. Because what are we hitting him with? Fair? Well, he's got all this space to work with from when he's hit. And he's only at 33. So I have serious concerns about whether or not that's going to go the way we want it to. What I'm thinking here is, like, I'm thinking greedier. Like, if I'm going all the way over here, I want to read, and I want it to be, like, worth the payoff. I'm thinking we inhale him. Because we can just steal we can just take the lasers. And then our life is significantly easier from that point on.
Yeah. So the way that I've been trying to do these weird inhales lately, and in my mind, that's where the fair through your F tilt makes sense if they go off stage, or I can like do like a weird short hop approach inhale after I hit them. But the idea of doing the inhale from here, that is something that seems unintuitive to me. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'll have to give it a try.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering if we have enough time.
Well, the nice thing about inhale is that it is a grab that sticks in front of us, right? So like because it's like kind of like here on our body, like when we're moving, like it kind of occupies this spot. So
yeah.
As long as it overlaps with him somewhat effectively. Remember, his shine and spot dodge do not get him out of it if we're here. If we're overlapping him here when we're coming in, it doesn't. Let's assume that he occupies. We'll make him blue. We'll make him a lighter blue. No, lighter. Here. So like his body kind of occupies this block, right? When he gets up, as long as we have the inhale here. Like, this is basically just a meaty. So, like, as long as we have, like, the inhale overlapping his tech when he's, like, rolling to this location, it doesn't matter because we can be, like, 2 or 3 frames late because his shine does not deal with this, his spot dodge does not deal with this, his jump squat does not deal with this, his shield does not deal with this, and neither does his, like, roll until frame 4. So because of that, there's, like, if he's buffer rolling to get out of this, there's an additional, like, 4 frames of, like, leniency that's added into this. Because of the nature of like having a perpetually like a constant hitbox grab out.
Yeah.
So like this is like tech rolls I would say are like a very good place for us to like consider launching inhale. The other cool thing about them is that like we can we can kind of like jump towards this way and we don't necessarily have to inhale immediately. Like we can kind of see the inhale as we're moving after him. And if we react in time to his tech in place, like over here, we're also kind of able sometimes to cover this with back air, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which also is good. Or even if we can't cover it directly, we can at least pressure him. Because we're not we're just jumping past him. The only thing then we're leaving open is this, so we're creating a much tighter, like, mix-up system. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, to me, this wave dash forfeits way too much. Because we're, like, wave dashing here to maybe forward tilt over here. To me, that's just not worth it for, like, the level of things we're giving up over here. Because if we get the lasers, then, like, the rest of our stock versus this Falco is significantly easier. And if we don't get the lasers, then, like, well, at least we took we can sometimes still back air this tech in place, or at least pressure him for it. And then over here, the one option that's left open is him going to the edge, which we're fine with.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm taking notes too. But yes, it makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
I did play this character for a while. Like, I did get good. I did get okay with him at once upon a time. Like, I think that tech chasing is actually a really good spot to inhale just kind of fundamentally because a lot of the like responses people have after getting up are just naturally like poorly aligned with like a constant grab hitbox. It's partly because a constant grab hitbox is broken, but like on top like in addition to that, like think about it, like what are the people's like get off me tools? It's like shield, we like spot dodge. Ooh, okay. So I like the idea. Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. Do you ever just like, do you ever go on the platform for that? I feel like the going on the platform for that makes some amount of sense for some reason.
The up B.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes yeah. I mean, yeah, like if I do it here and I'm not sliding around, Kirby will land on top plat. If I was a little further in, I could mix up, do I land on the floor or the side plat?
Yeah, so to me this looks like you like smash turned and didn't get like the dash jump start over here. So
Okay.
like I think that like with like a slightly different like input, you could have like definitely gotten over here like for sure. And I think that would have like been really well suited for this. Like for some reason I really like the idea of using this up B to cover this zone. Or using like the because he can kind of make it ambiguous, can't he? Like if you get like if you get a good wind up with it, I bet he can actually make it ambiguous as to like
Yeah. Because I actually drift back, right? I start to move forward in the windup, and then as Kirby, and you have complete drift control the whole time. So as I start to kind of come down, I'm pulling back, which I think that what I'm afraid of is I think I'm afraid of the end lag and getting punished. But I think I don't understand Falco's side B very well.
Yeah, so what I think like I think that this up B is actually a really interesting idea. The only thing I would change about like what you're doing here is like I would keep like I would kind of like try to align it so it's kind of like this. So like as you're moving up with like your motion, like you're kind of going up here and then you have the option to like
Okay.
so you have the option to like land here or you can land here. So then you can kind of react like respond to what he's doing or like try to like follow his motion. Because then you can shoot the projectile in the spot that you want it, right?
Yeah.
Because it can go here and it can go here, and then it blocks the illusion, like sometimes, like a little more often. Because yeah, like the ability to like decide between the platforms is like actually quite handy on the thing. Because like one of the challenges I have with like jumping with this character in this spot is like I feel like I'm committing to like one or the other, but side B is like actually kind of genius here because it like represents like a way of like having both of these outcomes. So that's actually really clever. I would just try to like do it so that you actually do have access to both of those options, because like then you can cover either lane.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. I like that.
Thank you.
What?
No, no, sincere thank you.
Okay, I was like, I was
more.
just like, I never know with you sometimes. So I have to sometimes check, but yeah, like.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's fine. So like, let's talk about this location. So like this one. Okay, so this is just clearly like we needed to just short hop back air and fall.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Moving on.
Well, yeah.
See,
Yeah.
this is what I mean. Like, you're so
Oh
good
my
at making
God.
this is
Oh my God.
you're so good at making people shield on these platforms. Like that hammer makes a lot of sense for getting him to do that, and then we don't grab him, and then it's like, why are we not grabbing him?
Oh, I didn't even think of that just now. Yeah, AS. Okay. Huh. I'm writing notes. Okay.
Yeah, like because like I feel like so Kirby's like problem has always been like his lack of a death combo like on the fast fallers, but it's not that he doesn't have one. It's just it's really hard to get because he has to do it on a platform. Like he has to grab them on a platform. But like you're actually doing a good job of like getting them to shield in the spot. So like I would feel like we want to be playing more 50-50s in those kinds of spots. Like more more things that like, and I get that some of them aren't real, so like it's scary. But like we're playing Kirby, man. Like we got to be willing to go for things that like at least knowledge check them a little bit. Like it's okay. Like it's fine.
So if you give me a second, so the 50-50s, right? So I think you're right. There's the example we just went through with the up B. Am I landing on the side or the floor? Make it more ambiguous. Okay. What about and I guess the other mix-ups, right? We talked about the one in the tech chase situation, okay, on the ground. And then is one of the other mix-ups like, am I gonna mix up? Like I should throw in the grab so that shield is not always the correct choice. Is that sort of what you're saying?
Yeah, so like I'll give you an example. So like I would say that like so the edgeguard one that we just went over, I wouldn't really consider in the same category because that's more of like a reaction thing. Like we're just like we're using our air drift to like decide whether we go on the platform or not to like aim the up B projectile for edgeguard. To me, that's just like set play. The part that's not set play is like what we do on this side platform over here when we have the Falco here. Cause like I think you do like a really good job of like getting him onto this. Like maybe it's a little bit earlier. I forget where, But like you had like you had an aerial, yeah, this thing. So like after landing from here, you see how the Falco just like auto shields upon like landing, right? Because they're playing around the hit. So what I want us to see more, what I want to see more of, instead of going for like this hit in these kinds of situations, I want to see us turn around, being willing to turn around grab. Because what we're not taking advantage of in this spot is the fact that like our two best attacks are this and this, right? And they're both behind us. And this Falco correctly is identifying that and saying, I don't want to deal with this. So I'm going to block. And what I'm saying here is we're a character whose entire combo tree relies on us being able to get a grab on a platform. He is shielding. He is shielding because he's afraid of our other hits. Like, and we're centered. We're centered on the platform, which is like the spot where it's easiest to like go for our kill through, like our set play combo. And I get that he's like at high percent here, but what I'm saying here is like we need to be willing to go for grab here, because like if we grab him here, like what, he pops out here or here, basically maybe here. Like, he pops out somewhere, like, in this, like, vicinity, and then we have, like, a much easier RTC to kill him a lot of the time.
Yeah, and like a down smash, it'll cover.
Yeah, or we can just, like, drop through bear here, and it'll hit him over here, or we turn and drop through bear if he rolls this way, you know what I mean? Or, like, we run over here and shield drop up air, and hit him with, like, our super scary move. So, like, we have a lot of power available to us, but we need to be willing to grab... be willing to grab when you see them doing this. No, be willing to turn grab. Because, like, this to me is, like, so fundamental to this character. Because all it requires us to, like, God, like, imagine, like, if we were fighting Jigglypuff, we wouldn't even be thinking about this, right?
No, not at all.
Like, if this was Puff, we'd be like, oh, she's behind us? Okay, like, I guess we're blocking. Like, because of course that's what we would do. But, like, so my question here is, why are we why is that the case versus Jigglypuff? Well, it's because where her scary moves are. So, like, we need to be willing to do that here, too. So.
Okay.
Because, like, this is really where all the... Like, again, we're a character who's, whose, like, kill throw happens on a platform in a centered position. We are creating that spot twice now, and we're not even, like, thinking about it. And you know, that's... Like, hey, I get it, but, like, I'm not gonna go over that. That's just a reaction thing. It's all good. But, like, the point... Like, you can see why I'm just like, gah! Because, like, we did the hard part. Like,
I know.
I would be looking for more forward tilts. Like, I don't know what you're going for here, but, like, he's at 107. Like, so this is actually a spot where
right there. Oh gosh. Okay.
You could have done it on either of these. So here's a cool thing about like frame. So what do you know about frame data? For Falco.
A lot.
Okay.
Specifically Falco, maybe not enough.
Okay. So, like, how much lag do you think is on Falco's down air and back air?
I don't know.
10 frames on back air, 9 frames on down air when he lands.
Wow, that's... With an L cancel?
With an L cancel.
Oh my god.
So you can just hit it. Like, your F tilt hits on what, like 4 or 5? Like 4? Something like that?
Yeah.
So you can just hit him.
I want to write that down. Falco, bear, what's the lag?
10.
Okay, and then the dare is 8?
Dare is 9.
9, okay.
Yeah, so
Thank
you no problem. Yeah, you can, I'll send you the fight core link, but like, if you don't have it already. But like, yeah, you can just straight up hit him. I would say that, like, one of the really important parts of footsie characters like Kirby in this game is just understanding, like, when you can do your tilts in relation to somebody's landing. So I would take a look at, like, what standard, like, L cancel times are for other characters, and try to use that to, like, internalize when you can go for, like, a forward tilt, when you can go for a down tilt, things like that. Because, like, knowing that you can, like, attack him, like, knowing that you can attack him after he has, like, after he has landed, and then still hit him with the forward tilt, I feel like that is something that you just weren't aware of, and that's why you're not taking a lot of these openings.
Yeah, and this interaction happens a lot with me versus Falcos. I usually just get out of there.
And
So I really didn't know.
I bet this is why you're so inconsistent, because when you're getting out of there, you have to go for reads, basically. Like, you have to like go for more reads for your hits, because you can't just like undershoot and like guard your space or like whiff punish and reactively work. And those are kind of Kirby's two biggest strengths. Like, he's good at the same things that Jigglypuff is, like, structurally. He just uses the ground more than her. But like, he's still good at whiff punishing and undershooting, essentially. Like, those are his like two biggest strengths. His biggest weakness is he doesn't have overshoots. But like, what I bet, because of your need to like hit people with like on reads and anticipation more to make up for that weakness, that's probably why you're so inconsistent versus a lot of these characters, because a lot of times they're giving you freebies and you don't recognize that. Like, I bet you get more of those where it's like you're just, and that's why there's like such an emphasis on reading in your play. This is starting to make a lot of sense. You just kind of don't know the rules of like when you're allowed to go for things, and like as a result, when you roll the dice and you get everything that you like, everything goes according to plan. Yeah, it feels like you look killer. But like when things don't go according to plan, you don't have as much of a base to like make up for it. Like that again, like we need this is another thing. Like, if we just stand here, we cover this entire zone. The only one we're missing is him going here. Like, this is another one where if I thought he was going over here, I would consider just inhaling him and taking the stock trade. Like, if they tech roll to the edge, and like this is one of the reasons I like inhale as a tech chase option, because like if they roll to the edge like off this down throw, and I inhale them and take this, and like if I survive the stock trade even, then like imagine how bad that is, right?
Yeah.
Like, they just actually lose a stock and they're like, fuck, like, god damn it. So I would say, like, looking at his down throw as more of a positional trap where you can, like, cover, like, this with up tilt or grab, and then you can punish the things over here. And if they start rolling to the edge, arbitrarily jump over and inhale them and take the kill. Like, I think that kind of thing could, like, work really well for you, because, like, the RTC is genuinely, like, the pure RTC with the away options is genuinely really hard, but I don't even think that it's necessarily good. Because, like, it doesn't really play to what Kirby's good at, which is position. Like, it's stage control. We want them to, like, fight us in the spot that we're, like, good in, and we want them to scrap with us. Like, we want them to scrap with us in our footsie position, because that's where we're good. So, how do you feel like this is going?
Like the match?
No, the coaching. Obviously the coaching.
Okay. And the coaching is fine. It's good. Thank you.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, if I don't know how I come off. How do you feel the coaching is going?
I think it's going quite well. I think it's being very productive.
Okay.
I think that there's like, I think I would like more. I think I'd like more engagement, but like I also understand from working with you before that that's just kind of like not how you work sometimes, and that's okay. It's just like you're taking notes, you're doing your process, like because you've mentioned that's important to you in terms of how you function. I would like to see more lasers from you. Like we went through all that effort to like get this thing.
Yeah.
We didn't shoot once.
I don't do this way anymore. Oh my god. Yeah. I spent like 3 days labbing Falco laser, and I went crazy. But now I don't play lasers this way. But I
actually really like this idea, like this up throw idea.
Which one? Oh yeah.
Like, so the reason I like this so much, so like we kind of like land at a good time. One thing I would consider is if we like don't like we're well aligned with him if he like holds in, and if he holds to the holds outwards, we can kind of like waveland over and like still like keep like good footing. One thing I'd consider is like, can we just like falling back here if he lands here? Like, don't like, instead of fast falling, like once we see that he's held in, because we have a lot of time to like see like, what if we just like falling back here out of this directly?
Yeah, there's the Kirby's right there. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really like the down air. Like, once you were, like, in that new position, I like the attempt for, like, the no drill, like, the...
Yeah.
DOD...
The drill only dare.
Yeah, the drill only dare up tilt. I think that was a good idea. It just didn't happen to work out, but I think that, like, going for that is quite is a good versus Falco in general. I do think that we're spending too much time in like the Falco box. So like what I mean by that is, so like if we think about where Falco's down air hits functionally, like this is like a positional thing versus characters who play above us in general. I think there's like kind of like a magic box where like Falco has a lot of control over the game. And I think it's like basically like this area.
Yeah, this is something I didn't understand. So I think, again, to reflect your comments about inconsistencies and relying on reads, this is something where I should be able to like math this out and not have to realize like, oh, I'm in his like danger zone, and instead I play here. So this is a good example.
Yeah, so I would say that like so help me out here. Where are Kirby's like what does Kirby want to do when he's here? Because we can't obviously just like hang out in the corner forever, but like we sometimes have to go through this zone. So like where are the safe zones that we want to play to, and like how do we move through this zone effectively? I know, I'm asking tough questions.
Yeah, okay. So if this is not a situation where I feel like I'm being top plat camped, I feel like it's a situation where it just came up. I want to go to the plats, but not. I want to go under the plats, right? Typically.
So like around here, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially on Yoshi's, because Kirby's full hop off the slant is enough to get to the plat, so I could do like a weird, full hop waveland or something, right? I have options in those spaces.
Oh, you mean the side plat, right?
The side plat, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're basically thinking about going here potentially.
Well, I don't want to go from there straight there. I'd rather go further in under the side plat and then go up.
Okay,
because
gotcha.
I could get cut off with some weird Falco option.
Okay, gotcha. So we're thinking like cool. So we're thinking about like maybe heading this way, and then once we're here, then like this is where like we're like kind of like messing around. We could also like short hop, because our short hop puts us around here.
Yeah.
And then we could use our double jump to like make up the difference, the distance. We could then like use a waveland to go this way. Okay, cool. So I like that. I like that a lot. I especially like wavelanding here if he is top platform camping us, because wavelanding here allows it like in this direction, allows us to teeter cancel. So like from there we have options with our shield. Like we can present our shield here, which is quite nice, because like if we shield on the edge here and hold off, when he touches our shield, we'll fall forward. Which is just kind of like it's the Marth killer. Like if we Marth killer here, facing forward, and he hits our shield, we will go fall off, so then we can back air. We can also then from this position like full hop this way and like potentially harass with fair. So like I agree with this. I think this all makes sense. Is there a reason for us to ever like fight in this area, or do you think that it's just basically just dance on the ground and like try to make it to the sides?
Is there a reason for Kirby to stay there and try to fight Falco?
Yeah, to like fight in this area, or is it basically just like, no, just dance around, make it to the sides, don't be obvious about how you're doing it?
I'm not sure. I would have said before, yes, I want to get the scrap, so if I can bait the Falco to come down here, I want to mess with him. But that might be me thinking reads based or something again, so I don't know.
I think there's some merit to like moving around with increments. So like I will advocate for like staying on the ground a little bit here, but I think that we don't want to linger, if that makes sense. Like it's okay to work in like the little in the little chunks. That's a little too big. So Kirby kind of like moves like about this much with a wave dash, right?
Yeah.
So like I think that moving like in these little chunks to like and then checking your landing to see if he like landed in any of this like this area upon landing, I think makes like a ton of sense. Because if we're moving this way, if we're just naturally moving in this direction, then like I think it makes sense for us to like observe Falco as he's like fighting us, to like see if he's missed in our like good zone. But like aside from that, I don't think that we should be lingering here for longer than we should. Like one of the things that I noticed about like Mango when he fights Foxes on this level, because Fox has like Falco's kind of like got the flipped dynamic of this in that matchup, right? Like he's the one who doesn't want to be under here in Fox's full hop zone.
Okay.
He basically navigates, like he'll use his like back air and stuff to like move around this area, but he doesn't really like move around like this area. And I think Kirby can do similar things with his wave dash and short hop back air, or short hop, or even short hop up air, just as like a thing to throw around in case. But like I don't think you want to like stay here, and we understand that like we're not expecting a lot of these attacks to like work, like a lot of these aerials to work necessarily. They're more of a deterrent or like a bait. Like if they happen to work out, great. If not, then whatever. But like we're ultimately, I think we want to get to like 1 or 2, just because that's going to be where we're safest.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we are like we are coming up on time.
Oh wow. Okay.
I know. We didn't get through as much as I was hoping, but like I hope that like this was helpful in terms of like cleaning up. So I think that like for let's quickly summarize our key takeaways, just so like we can like make sure that we're wrapping this up well. I'm thinking that the biggest one, and let me send you actually the link to Fightcore as well, so that you have that too. So for homework with Fightcore, key takeaways, no key takeaways. I wrote Keck. What is wrong with my typing? Whatever. All right, key takeaways. So biggest things that I want you to work on is I want us to like examine, like look into the L cancel times of some common characters and compare those to your tilts and grab and rising short up air. Try to establish, goal is to establish a reference point for when you need to act to have your, in relation to their landing, for your move to hit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect. So then the next thing I would say is for RTCs, for grabs versus U-tilt/bear, we want to represent the turn grab mix-up in when facing away from the opponent in scraps where we've been showing bear and up tilt, and then add-on point to the above, make sure we are doing this especially on platforms when we're somewhat centered versus fastballers. Yeah, because like this is how we get like our big damage. Because like remember, like it all goes back to that expected value chart that we made, like that expected value situation we looked at, and it's like Kirby's like RTC on the platform is significantly easier. We have so much more access to threats, and like if we are not representing that and leveraging that, then like what are we doing here, right? Because like that is the difference between going for like an 80 like a RTC that has like a damage cap of like 80 or 90 or 100 damage versus like just back air up tilting again. Like that is a massive loss of potential that we are like accepting, and I think we need a very 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 good reason to be doing so every time. And like there will be times where it makes sense to do so, but like it can't just be like I'm uncomfortable turning and grabbing. Like we need to have like a real reason why we're not doing that. Okay. And then the last thing here I would say is I would say that like maybe for RTCs, look into inhale and ways to restructure inhale and other high reward options versus the tech roll away to justify not covering the more convenient options nearby, since those are hittable. Since those are hittable with up tilt and grab and such, and grab more easily. And I think that with that, aside from like the certain 50/50s with the cutter, cutter platform cutter platform thing. I'm just gonna call it that, because okay. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And I think with that covers it. Like, do you have any questions about what we've gone over? Is there anything else that you want me to look at? No, do you have any like parting questions before we close it? Or yeah, and just do you have any feedback for me?
I feel good with what we went over. Thank you. No parting questions regarding the material. Feedback. I don't have any real feedback right now. So no. Sorry.
No, it's like if you're saying I did a good job and you don't have any feedback, like I'm cool with that. If that changes, let me know, because again, I am constantly trying to get better at this too. But in the meantime, I will leave you on your way, and if yeah, like if you want to if you want to play some games, sometimes hit me up, because yeah, like I'm still, I do like playing. So even if I'm not in Scrap House anymore, don't be a stranger, and yeah, I'll see you around.
Okay. One question.
Yeah.
Just realized. Um, you said you had a recording. Do I get access to it? And if so, how?
Oh, it's just on my YouTube channel.
Okay. And so this meeting, public YouTube, I'm okay with that. But it's going to be posted on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Bye, Plue.
Bye bye.